what's your expectation of this video? You may say, well, it depends, right? It depends on where you are in life right now. It depends what problem you try to solve, or also what mindset you were in when you clicked on this video. And so we realize that we have very little control over fulfilling each other's expectation. Listen, I don't know why you clicked on this video. I don't know what problem you like to solve. And you don't know what I have on offer. You don't know what I'm talking about until I tell you. And anyway, what's the big deal? It's just a video. If I don't fulfill your expectations, well, you just click off, right? But sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes we have big dreams. We have visions, expectations of ourselves and of others. And when they are not fulfilled, we become disheartened, we become disappointed. In this video, I'll share my perspective on how we can deal with such unfulfilled expectations and a way how to become a little bit less disheartened, a little bit less disappointed in the process.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
We all have dreams, maybe even a vision or a purpose in life. Certainly goals, but every now and then we become disappointed because our expectation in relation to the reality is, well, mathematically speaking, less than 1. We become disappointed. We start to ask ourselves, I wasn't good enough, that's why. Or somebody else wasn't good enough. Certainly something wasn't good enough, because otherwise I wouldn't be disappointed. Otherwise I would feel happy, right? Or picture this, after all this isolation, you are now planning your dream holiday. You collect all the information that you can. You find the best hotel. You find the best location. You even look at a perfect flight. You upgrade to business class. Everything's planned out, and you know this will be the best vacation you'll ever go on. And then you arrive, and the weather is just terrible. It's torrential rain, and people go inside, and it becomes crowded inside, and you can't go outside. There's very limited things you can do, and you become disappointed because your expectation isn't met. And how could you not be? The weather is terrible. You clearly didn't get what you bargained for, and you paid a lot of money to go on this vacation, right? Just recently, I read a few lines that totally changed my perspective on disappointment. It said, you have to clearly differentiate between dreams and goals. You can hope to achieve your dreams, but it's not in your control. Goals, on the other hand, are in your control. Make sure they support your dreams to have the best chance of realizing them. Before we look at what those sentences mean in the context of our video, I also like to ask you to stick around till the end. A couple of days ago, a friend of mine expressed the concept of a sea anchor. Deeply touched me, and I want to share that experience with you as well, because it's very relevant to the topic that we speak about here today. So stick around until the end. When we look back at the sentence, the one element that sticks out to me is control. How often do we set ourselves up for disappointment? Because the expectation that we build up is something that we actually have no control over. Consider the example of our holiday again. You have no control over the weather, and yet you were expecting that the weather supports your dream vacation, right? And we learn that we have to carefully consider the expectations that we set in terms of how much control we actually have over them. And yes, with the holiday, it's not such a big deal. But what about if we talk about your life? What about if we talk about your vision, your ideas, your becoming somebody. I love to have 1 million followers on YouTube. But it's not entirely in my control. What is in my control is I can make sure that every video I produce is a little bit better than the last. I can start to become more engaging. I can create topics that you are interested in. I can even look at the aesthetics of this frame that you see here, the background, the plant where I put some lights into it in the last couple of videos. I can do all of those. Those are goals. Those are things I have control over. And they support my dream. But yes, if I just purely look at views or subscribers, I could become disappointed because I don't have 1 million followers on YouTube. But that would be foolish, right? Because that's something I have no control over. What I can make sure is that the things that support my dream, I do to the best of my abilities. And when you become disappointed in the future, consider first how much of your expectation was actually in your control. And if it wasn't, change it for the future, learn from it, make sure that you create goals that you're in control of. And yes, that you also create goals that support your dreams, that you support your vision. But recognize that the factor of chance or luck or a higher power or fate, whatever you may call it, is undeniably high. Remember the concept of a sea anchor? If you don't know what it is, go on Google and you can look it up. But in essence, a sea anchor isn't something that keeps your boat stuck to a certain place, but rather it is thrown out of the boat when you're in a storm, and it helps direct the boat facing straight into the storm, because that is the most stable, that is the most safe way to conquer the storm. Let your expectations be such a sea anchor in your storms of life, that they make you face right into the storm. Don't change direction. Don't try to circumnavigate. You have dreams, you have a vision, you have goals, and you go for them. You throw out your sea anchor when a storm comes up, and you make sure your boat of life faces straight and directly into the storm, because that is the safest way. That is where you have most stability. And that is also where you come to realize your dreams once you've conquered that particular storm. I'd like to thank you for watching this video so far. Clearly, I do have expectations as well, one of which is that I like to spread the word, spread the message that I record here on this channel. And if you like those kind of messages, I would really appreciate if you hit that like button. Because when you do, the YouTube algorithm will pick it up and it'll spread the message further. Also, when you like the content overall here on this channel, I appreciate if you don't only subscribe but hit the notification bell, because that way you will get a notification every time I upload a new video and you'll miss nothing. In the meantime, consider the tips in this video over here when you set your goals. I will see you over there and in the next video.